this market is just too big. And I think with India having seen so much of technology revolutions of mobile adoption, internet adoption, and UPI digital payments adoption, nobody should have any doubt that when AI start growing, and it is just waiting for its tipping moment, and it will start growing to much larger limits, AI will result into 50 more UPI moments in India. AI in agriculture, multiple use cases, AI in healthcare, AI in education, AI in climate, AI in defense, AI in banking and finance. You will have multiple UPI moments. Why I'm saying UPI moments? Because every single use case will be adopted by millions and millions of Indians who are carrying smartphones, where these AI use cases will be consumed. So the size of the pie itself is so big that today we may be talking thousands of GPUs and being very happy about it. But India will need millions and millions of GPUs, not only to build its own AI model, but also to put consumers to use those AI use cases, because you need GPUs for that also. So the
Right.
size of the pie itself is very, very big. Whether it is Google, whether it is Microsoft, whether it is some other local operator or Yotta, the size of pie will be very good. By the way, you must have seen Microsoft and Yotta have got an exclusive tie-up for serving the India AI mission, which is government of India's demand. Microsoft had decided to put their AI foundry and their tools on Yotta's GPUs, and that was the best combination, that you are actually using a sovereign cloud operators within the perimeters of sovereignty, but still getting the best of the global technology, which is from Microsoft, and we serve the India's sovereign needs. So that is best of the both worlds. So some places will be competing, some places will be complementing. That's how the market is going to grow.
Okay, great optimism there. But what's the one thing that could actually slow this down, disrupt this, whether it be power, land, talent, capital? What keeps you up at night?
Great question. And I think I keep on answering this question all the time. And my answer always is maybe thanks to the foundation we created 7 years back of large campuses with the 2 gigawatt of power feasibility in my Mumbai campus, almost 250 megawatt of power with a substation already there in my Delhi campus. Uh, Having spent 7 years in building our own sovereign cloud and having put that into some very critical use cases, having the engineering and operations talent to do this, and I would say having gone through 3 years of learning, because we started GPUs 3 years back while others are starting now. So with all this background, I don't see, frankly speaking, any execution challenge, whether it's on land, whether it's on power, whether in terms of execution at a chip level or a network or a storage or a software level. The challenge for me is, which is a good challenge to have, is how do I meet the growing demand? How do I keep my leadership? And basically for that, it's capital. That is why you will see us raising a lot of off-balance sheet capital. You will see us going for IPO. You'll see us raising lots of pre-IPO money, going to a lot of banks to raise money, because this growth is going to be huge growth for the next 10 years. And I would like to maintain my leadership position and I continue to invest on that. So my challenge right now is only and only raising of capital.
Okay, fantastic. We just saw one IPO, first pure play company, the Fractal IPO, and I'm glad you mentioned the IPO because that was certainly going to be a question. You have secured enough funding for the entire 2 billion GPU investment and are now planning to raise that 1.2 billion through pre-IPO and IPO funding as reported. But can you give us more color on that? Because we're trying to understand the picture around potential investors when you're filing for the approval process with SEBI, and will it be a straightforward IPO?
Yeah, so far, I mean, we had not diluted at all, ever since we started. So the first time we'll be going to the markets and diluting it. So yes, so we have already invested through a combination of the family's money, family's long-term loans on zero interest, and raising loans from the local banks, both public and private banks. We have invested almost like close to $2 billion already in our campuses, in our GPUs, in our cloud infrastructure. These 21,000 GPUs, as I mentioned earlier, are coming through an off-balance sheet arrangement where global funds are putting in the money. There'll be a rev share arrangement, and once they make their money, the chips get transferred to us. And I think these are the good models which can scale up our GPU capacity to much larger limit. I also announced last week, by the way, that after this 21,000 B300s, we'll also go for another 40,000, and the data center for that also is already ready for me, so I can scale that up within this financial year. But coming on my IPO, so we do know that beyond these arrangements, we will need to raise money to keep on scaling our growth, whether on GPUs and also on our the CPU-based sovereign general compute cloud. We will be raising around $1 to $1.2 billion. Right now, we are in pre-IPO round. We have gone to family offices, HNIs, and quite a lot of money has already gone into the bank, and it continues to get raised till possibly March end. We are into the process of our due diligence, which more or less I think is getting completed in next couple of weeks. That is when we'll file our prospectus. So if everything goes well, third quarter, fourth quarter of this financial year is something when we'll be hitting the market.